name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like, and today I have for you a very fun video. First though, I'd like to say, please ignore the fact that my hair is still damp. I didn't feel like waiting any longer to film this, and it's still a little bit wet from my shower. It's fine, we're just gonna ignore it. Getting into the video though, I have an unhaul for you guys, and this is coming off of my haul that I did a few weeks ago. I will link that down below for you guys. Not all of the books in that haul came from my local little free libraries, but a lot of them did, and I'm starting to feel bad because I just haven't been putting in as much as I've been getting out of them. So I scoured my shelves and I've pulled 12 books to put in my local little free libraries because there are 4 of them in my area, and I'm gonna put 3 in each just because that's a nice number for me. So yeah, I'm going to first tell you about all of these books that I'm unhauling. None of them are ones that I absolutely hated or anything. They're all good books. They're just not ones that need to stay on my shelves. So we're gonna discuss them first and then I'll take you along with me. I'm not sure how much footage I'm gonna get out and about because 2 of the little free libraries are in a very high traffic area, so there's probably gonna be a lot of people around, and the other 2 are in front of private residences, so I don't want to film anybody's houses, but I'll see what I can do, get a little bit of b-roll footage for you, and we're gonna try our best not to take anything from the little free libraries today. But if I see something that I just can't pass up, I'm not gonna stop myself. I will grab a book if I really, really, really want it, but not anything that I'm just well, maybe. No, anything like that I'll leave, but we'll give me, oh, I was gonna say maybe I'll just take 1 book and limit myself, but what if I take 1 book from the first little free library and then I find something later on? We're not gonna limit myself. We're just gonna say I'll try not to take anything, but I might. Is everyone happy with that? We're gonna leave it there. But with all that out of the way, let me tell you about all the books that I'm going to be dropping off. So first up, we actually have my book, Exquisite Corpse. This is a proof copy. I had to get 2 of them because the formatting was so messed up on the first one that I'm I just need to order another copy to make sure that my changes actually fixed what needed to be changed, and they did. So this, I actually didn't write in it at all because I already made all of my changes, and this was just to double check and make sure that the files went through correctly. So I haven't signed it yet, but I'm gonna sign this copy and put a little note from the author in it just because it's gonna be real cute, I hope, and put it in the little free library, and then someone in my area is gonna get a copy of my book, so I'm very excited about this. Next up, we actually have 7 poetry collections. If you didn't know, I have a degree in English literature, and while I did study fiction during that time, my main focus in college was poetry, so I amassed quite a bit of poetry in my time, but that was several years ago, and my tastes have definitely changed, so these poetry collections, while not bad by any means, I did love them at one point, they're just not so much my thing right now, so I'm going to pass them on, and hopefully someone else in this area loves poetry and will enjoy these collections. So we're kind of just gonna rapid fire these a little bit. So we have Lizzie Speak by Kaylee Tedesco, Branches by Rhiannon McGavin, Hours Inside Out by Isabella Price, Flower Sonnets by Angelo Colavita. Ooh, almost dropped this one. 100 Love Sonnets by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda actually wrote one of my favorite poems of all time. It is Tonight I Can Write the Saddest Lines, but his love sonnets just don't really do it for me, and I've read through this collection a couple of times, and it's finally just time to get rid of it. So I'm a little bit sad about that one going because I've had it for pretty much my whole life since I got into poetry, but it's time to move on. And the last 2 are Boombox Serenade by Joey Nicoletti and Hallelujah Time by John L. Stanizzi. Next up, we have 3 fiction works that I will be passing on. The first is Key of Arcandus by Lauren N. Sefcik. This is a self-published book. I won this in a giveaway back in 2021. It's been 3, maybe 4 years, and I read it when I got it, and I enjoyed it. I just didn't absolutely love it, and I know I'm never going to continue on with the series, so it's time to just take it off of my shelf. This is high fantasy, very much D&D vibes, which I liked. The story just took a turn that wasn't quite for me, so that's why I didn't absolutely adore it, but hopefully someone else will. Then we have The Thief by Fuminori Nakamura, and I actually got this out of a little free library several months ago. I don't remember exactly when, but this is literary noir translated from Japanese, and it just wasn't quite what I was looking for. I was hoping for something with a more thrillery vibe, and it didn't really deliver on that end, so I'm gonna pass on this. Then we have Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. This edition has gorgeous blue sprayed edges, and I adore this cover, but I read this last month in September, and it just wasn't for me. I'm very picky when it comes to sci-fi, and while I appreciate the things that this book was doing, the overall execution of it, we can say, just didn't really do it for me, so I'm going to pass this on and let someone else have a beautiful book on their shelf. And the last book that I will be unhauling today is All Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. This is nonfiction about the Golden State Killer, and Michelle McNamara was this investigative journalist, sort of, who was trying to find this man who was terrorizing Southern California in the 70s, I want to say. And this was so well written. She actually passed away before she could finish it, and so her husband and someone else she had worked with during this investigation of sorts finished the book for her, and then I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after the book was published, they finally caught the guy who was doing all of these terrible crimes, which is just crazy. But this book is so good. It's very well written. Like, it doesn't read like a nonfiction book, it reads more like a thriller. Like, I was genuinely terrified reading this. It was a very strange situation for me to open up, and in the front of the book there's a list of the victims that, like, whose stories are mentioned in this book, and 2 of them have my last name, and I was like, huh, that's weird. I did message my mom, because my mom is very into genealogy, so she, like, knows our whole family tree, and I'm like, did we have any relatives in Southern California in the 70s? And she's like, I'll look it up. And no relation, but still a bit of a strange coincidence there. That definitely freaked me out. But yeah, this was very good. I just don't think I will be rereading it, and if I do want to reread it in the future, I could get an ebook or maybe an audiobook. I feel like an audiobook would be an interesting time with this, but I'm just going to put it back in the Little Free Library ecosystem, and someone else is going to love this. So it is supposed to rain today, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get these out to the Little Free Libraries right away. Hopefully I'll have the time, but if not, I'll just film it a different day, and it'll be all the same to you, because it's just going to be this one video. But I am going to cue any B-roll footage that I get from that, and then come back and talk to you afterwards. Okay, friends, it is the day after I showed you all the books that I was unhauling, and as you saw in the B-roll footage, I went and dropped off those books. First of all, big shout out to my boyfriend who went with me on this little adventure and carried the bag of books, because it was very heavy and I didn't want to carry it myself. And he also did the filming of the clips of me putting the books in the Little Free Library, so shout out to him. Second of all, as you probably noticed in the B-roll footage, it started to rain while we were out. It wasn't raining, it was nice and clear, and then after the first Little Free Library, it was like misting, and then after the second one, it started raining in earnest. So that was a little bit annoying, especially walking back in the rain, but none of the books were harmed. They were all nice and dry inside the bag and then inside the little free libraries, so that's good. I did pick up a book. Just one. So like, it's not bad. Just one book that was added to my collection, and that is Rebel Angels by Libba Bray. And if you know anything about this book, you're probably thinking, Mars, why would you pick up the second book in a series? I don't, in fact, own the first one, so that would be a valid question. But the reason I picked this up is because I have now read 2 books from Libba Bray before. I read Beauty Queens way back when I was in high school or college, and I did enjoy that. I do want to reread it to see if I still enjoy it, but I did really like it. And then just a few weeks ago, I read The Diviners and absolutely loved it. It's like an ultimate favorite of mine, definitely like top 20 for sure. Maybe even top 10. Like, I really loved The Diviners. So I saw this and I'm like, well, I'll pick it up because I do want to read more of Libba Bray's backlist in the future. And having this means that I can read it physically, which is how I enjoy. It is damaged on like the ends of the pages, but the like pages themselves seem fine. It just looks old. But this it is very old. This has a sticker from Borders, and I'm pretty sure Borders went out of business like a decade ago at least. Yeah, this is the second book in the Gemma Doyle series. I want to say that's what it is. Yeah, Gemma Doyle. This is a Christmas book. I don't want to read too much of the blurb because this is the second book and I haven't read the first one, but I'm pretty sure it is historical fantasy, just like The Diviners. The Diviners takes place in 1920s New York. This says 1895 London, and as we've established, I adore historical fantasy. So yeah, I'm very excited to get this on my shelf. It says look inside for a special preview of Libba Bray's 3rd novel, so maybe this was like her debut series, it seems like, so that's exciting. But yes, I will read the first one at some point if I find like an ebook of it maybe, or maybe thrifting or a little free library I'll find the first one, who knows. But this is the only book that I picked up, and so I'm proud of myself. And that concludes our little adventure of doing a little bit of a clear out. I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but there are several books, like maybe 10 or 12, that I was very close to putting on the list of books to unhaul. Maybe not 10 or 12, maybe like 6 to 8 books that I almost unhauled, but I want to reread first. Beauty Queens was not one of them. Maybe that should go on the list, because if I read it and I don't like it, I'm not going to want to keep it. But anyway, we might be having an unhaul in the future, is what I'm saying. There are several books that I'm putting on a list to prioritize the rereading of, to see if I actually want to keep them on my shelf, because they're books that I have not touched, some of them in almost a decade. So that will be a future thing for you guys to look forward to. But for now, we've come to the end of this video, so if you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and then we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone!